Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. Today I have a stunning yet simple card design for you to try. I hope this inspires you to try something new. For today's card making project, I'll be using 3 sets from This Calls for Confetti. This amazing collection of autumnal foliage is one of my favorites. I'm going to pair it with the Hello elongated frame die and the Deck the Halls word dies. As I create today's project, I'll bring in a few additional supplies. As always, I encourage you to use what you have, but if you would like a list of the items I'm using, I've provided that in the description below, along with a link to the This Calls for Confetti shop. Let's get started with the project. I'm going to start by cutting out all the pieces that are needed for this card. It is a simple gold, white, and red design with metallic cardstock and glitter paper. This Calls for Confetti has some amazing dies in their collection, and this one here creates lovely details in the gold paper. Metallic paper can be a bit thin, and I want to raise this up off my card. So I'm going to cut 2 more layers from white chipboard. Not all dies are meant to cut through chipboard, but this oval didn't have any troubles. I'm going to create a matching gold sentiment with the Deck the Hall dies. This collection also has a shadow layer, which I won't be using today. Instead, I want to make these letters stand out by popping them up off the card. I'm going to cut another layer of chipboard to thicken these and give them dimension. The embellishments are also going to be simple, so I want to make sure that they stand out. The leaves and berries are going to be cut from gold and red glitter paper. Because the stems and berries are attached together, the stems are also going to be red. I would prefer that they match the leaves, so I'm going to cut a berry layer from gold glitter paper as well. In a moment, I'll show you how I plan to layer these pieces together. I'm going to cut out a few more leaves and berries off camera, then I'll share some tips for assembling this Christmas card. For my background, I have a piece of white cardstock cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. The oval shape is going to sit in the center. I'm adhering the layers together with liquid glue. Liquid glue takes a moment to set, which allows me to make sure all the edges are flush before they weld together. Of course, I could have used foam tape to pop this oval up off the card, but I feel like layered die cuts give larger pieces a more finished look. One of the hardest things about adhering metallic paper is trying not to damage it or create adhesive smudges when you're gluing pieces together. Now, the large oval was easy, but I always create a mess with little layers. I'm going to place a little bit of glue on my hand and use this to add a thin layer of adhesive to each letter. If this makes you uncomfortable, you can also place glue onto a sponge or a silicone mat. What I like about this method is the ability to control the amount of glue on the back of the gold cardstock. I'm also using a pair of tweezers to hold the letters so that I don't get glue on the metallic surface. All right, all the letters are finished. Let's go ahead and assemble the card. The gold etched oval is going to sit in the center. Now I just realized that I forgot to share the thickness of this after I added the chipboard. These layers create such a wonderful finished edge, and in my opinion, look much nicer than foam tape. Before adhering the letters in place, I'm going to space them out inside the oval. I want to make sure that I leave room for the leaves and berries, so I'm dry fitting them before I officially stick them in place. Once again, I'm placing adhesive on my hand to help me adhere these to the card. It's easier for me to line up my sentiments when I rotate the card. I've also been known to turn my projects upside down. If you have tips for lining up letters in a straight line and keeping them evenly spaced, feel free to share those in the comments. I went ahead and finished adhering those off camera so that I could share more card making tips with you. The next one is a simple way to get more layers from your die cuts. As I mentioned earlier, the berries and stems are one piece, and this looks just fine with most cardstock colors. But since the berries are red glitter, the stems look a little odd. I cut some additional berry layers from gold glitter so that I could cut the red layers apart and layer the berries over the top. Now, most of these berries are clumped together, so they're really easy to cut apart with a small, sharp pair of scissors. If you choose to layer these, you will need to use an adhesive that sticks to glitter. Liquid adhesives work best, but not all liquid adhesives work with glitter paper. Now, I want you to take a look at the difference between these two berry sets. Adding the gold layer looks amazing, doesn't it? I'm going to quickly finish this second one off camera, and then we'll add our foliage and berries to the card. This is where you get to bring in your own personal creative touch. You can add a small amount of layers or build them up with foam tape. You can leave the die cut pieces as is or cut them apart like I am. You could even bring in some more autumn foliage layers, add loops of twine or thread, or layer gems and sequins within the berries. This card design would also look great in other colors and textures. A silver oval with bits of blue, green, and pink would be lovely. Or you could have a more traditional mix of bold red and pine green. Honestly, simple card designs like this are some of my favorites to share because there are so many possibilities. Now that all the embellishments are in place, I can layer this over the top of a black cardstock base. Red, gold, or green would also match well. To finish this design, I'm going to adhere a few antique gold pearls in place. I'm going to finish this off camera and then I'll share the completed card with you. This Deck the Halls card turned out so much better than I hoped, and I used very few supplies to create it. The mix of gold and red is a stunning combination, and the sentiment adds just a little bit of fun to the design. I would love to know what color combination you're going to try. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope this card making project inspired you to try something new. If you have questions about the project or supplies I used, feel free to post that in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.